Welcome to Retirement with Jim. So today's topic is going to be the changes, the three most important changes in 2025 and how they may affect you. Before we get started, if you like my content, please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you get notified of more videos. And if you like, leave me comments. Love to hear from you. Love to know what your opinions are on the subjects. Okay, let's get started. So one of the first things on there is the COLA, which many of you probably know and have heard that it's 2.5%. Now the COLA is based on the Consumer Price Index, and they use the W category to judge, what the increase is going to be. Now, as for seniors, that's not necessarily the most beneficial one. Actually, the most beneficial for seniors is the RCPI-E, which stands for retirees, and the E stands for elderly. And that one is a more important one and a fairer one from a senior standpoint because it looks at two major things, which is housing and healthcare. W does not look at healthcare, but E does, and that would be a fair assessment because that's where you spend your money. When you're retired, let's face it, let's be fair about that. So the last three when they looked at the last quarter, it settled in and inflation had kind of cooled off a little bit, and it had then settled in at a 2.5%. But then, lo and behold, October, November, December, right after they looked at it, costs went back up. So not necessarily a great benefit to us because, for instance, with 2.5%, that means you're getting about an additional $49. For myself, I got $48. But guess what? Of that $48, 10% or $10 of that went to Medicare because the Part B went up $10, went up to $185. It was $175 and some change. Now it's $185 and some change. So, you're kind of, you get an increase, but you're kind of fighting a losing battle. That's terrible. So they don't factor any of that in. That cost goes in, and so you right away lose $10 right off the bat, just for Medicare. And the cost of Medicare, for instance, my wife, her Part D went up. It went up from she went up. It was going to go up by $44, which a month, which is a huge amount of money. So she actually found a different plan that benefited her, and she actually got it for free, which is great because when you're looking at what everything costs, all those pennies matter. They do. So the next category is the wage cap. The wage cap, of course, is going up from 168,600. It's now 176,100. Now, that's good because that means that there is more money that is, going into the Social Security fund. My honest opinion, doesn't go up high enough. They should bump that up to 400,000 and capture so much more of high earners, that are making money and they're not paying any kind of tax on that at all. So I'm absolutely in favor of raising that to a much higher level. Now the rich, no, they don't want it. Oh, we're taxed enough. We're all taxed enough. It really comes down to fairness and equality. So what does that mean? So going up from 168 to 176, it means that anybody in the high earner category will pay an additional $930 more in taxes a year. It may sound like a lot, but 930 is, in the overall scheme of it, not that bad. And that's based on a 12.4% percentage that comes out of the your wages. Now, that's a category that kind of remains kind of in flux. I think every year you're going to see that go up. And The only one who's going to cry about it is going to be the ones who are having to pay additional money, but because the average group of people do not make above $176,000. Looking at the average. So, tell me what you think. I think personally, for them to pay more, not a terrible burden, not at all. So, absolutely, like I said, I'm in favor of raise that to 400,000 and capture a whole lot more money, and that'd be a lot fairer for everyone across the board. And the other thing is future benefits. Now, this part is certainly to a large degree somewhat controversial, because that means that new retirees will be getting less. There's just kind of no way around that. So there's going to be less benefits based on, what the trust fund has, and every year as they look at it, they're raising taxes and they're raising all the expenses. So along with that, there's also then the chance that they may raise the age. Look what happened over in France. They literally had riots in the street because they went from 62 to 64. And for all of us, we've been at that for a long time, so I don't know, we don't even think nothing about it. So it's something that you got to take a look at, especially as you are going into retirement. You're one of those ones that you're going to retire in the next few years, or it's in the next 10 years, or certainly that matters to you in terms of what the age category is, if it goes up. How much more you may have to pay in taxes, and of course getting less benefits. That brings us to the next thing, which is really need to find some additional income streams. You need to look at, okay, what can you do? Should you be finding a part-time job, in retirement? Maybe do something that is remote and you can do with very flexible hours and convenient for yourself. Something to think about. And you want to be able to think about your time. What are you going to do? And no matter what someone says, someone's going to say, well, if you're doing part-time work or you're doing a gig, you're not retired. I say nonsense. Retirement is what it is for what you want. And if it means you work, a few hours and hopefully doing something you like and enjoy and find a way to make some money, there's nothing wrong with that. Especially if you can do it on your terms, your time. It's good to figure out that if it will benefit you, from a monetary sense and help make retirement an easier thing to do, then so be it. Do it. I do these videos, and I do them because I love, from the educational standpoint, the information that goes out. But it's I enjoy them. So it's like, okay, it's a good thing to do. But it just brings to mind that find something you're really going to enjoy in retirement, and if you can make some money in it, God bless you. There you go. And and if you're at full retirement age, then you don't have to worry about the means test. If you retire before your FRA, your full retirement age, then you have to be concerned about the limits not to exceed, so you don't get hit with additional taxes on that. But if you are at full retirement age and you can make it to that, and that's great, because then you can take a part-time gig, especially if you're feeling, you're healthy enough and you're feeling good, and you don't have to worry about how much money you make. So let me know what you think. I think that these are things that are going to affect everyone who's going into retirement very soon, and certainly something to give food for thought. So with that, I'm going to tell you, have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.